everyone, and welcome to the Honeybee Knits podcast channel. My name is Melissa, and if you are here as a first-time viewer, just a fair warning at the top of this video, this is not a full podcast. If you browse my channel, you'll see that I put up a new video every 2 to 4 weeks showing all of my knitting progress, all my whips, all my finished objects, all my acquisitions, and of course all things giveaway related. This episode and the following episode over the next couple of days, aka the next month or so, is not a standard episode. I am participating again in Vlogmas, and for those of you that have followed me for a while, you know I did this last year and I had so much fun with it that I decided to do it again this year, and I have lots of fun things planned. So I hope that you guys choose to stick around and see all the festive holiday stuff that I'm up to this year. So if you are not familiar with Vlogmas, what it is it's basically a time where a lot of us vloggers get together and record a video every day of our daily lives, kind of what's going on, and a lot of us have what we call advent calendars. So as you can see, they're all lined up behind me. Mine are hanging from my mantle. But essentially we open one gift a day up to Christmas, and make a project with the yarn that's inside. So I have gone overboard again this year, even though if you go back and watch last year's Vlogmas, you know I said I was going to try to scale back this year. Seems like advent calendars are going on sale earlier and earlier every year, so it becomes easier to acquire many over the course of the year. So I think this year I purchased my first one in April. And I consistently bought one like every 2 months until December. So right now, technically it is not December 1st. So it is 10:26 p.m. on November 30th. But today is a special day. Tonight is a special night. Not only are we going into the first day of Advent, but I am having a cast on kind of party with some of my friends. So I am opening day one a bit early just so that I could record this video for you guys and get it put out into the world, because I'm going to be working on some stuff tonight. So now that the awkwardness is over, because it's the first video of Vlogmas, I think I am ready to jump right in and show you day one of everything. Just a heads up, this video and all the videos going forward will have spoilers, so I of course will announce what the spoilers are before I show them, but if you are trying to avoid spoilers, please feel free to skip ahead or wait to watch until you're ready to see what I'm showing. So the first thing that I purchased this year was my 2019 Advent 24 stripe skein from Cozy Knitter. And I had so much fun with these socks last year that I knew that I wanted to get them again this year. And this is what they look like split into cakes. So it's very similar to the color scheme last year. I think it's more on the gray side than the gold side from last year. The colors are much more muted this year, which I absolutely love. So I am excited to cast these on tonight and hopefully do a stripe a day up to Christmas. I will not have a full finished pair of socks by the time I do 24 stripes. These stripes are a little bit thinner than usual, so because there are 24 different colors, so it doesn't yield a full pair of socks unless you're doing shorties. But I will have a good start to a finished pair, and hopefully I will have those finished before the new year. The second thing that I purchased this year was another self-striping Advent skein from Curvy Warby Yarns. And this was a last minute purchase at the end of November. I saw that she still had pre-orders up, which, or I think it was at the end of October, which by now typically Advent orders are closed. So it was kind of like an impulse purchase. I must have been having a bad day or something, so I decided to purchase it. But I'm glad I did because it is absolutely gorgeous. So this is the same ball of yarn. I split it into 2 cakes. As you'll see, as he's drinking water in the background, as you'll see, there are 2 different sizes. So the way that she sent her yarn, she sent it in one big cake, unlike Cozy Knitter, who had it split in half before she sent it. And Cozy Knitter's yarn is 118 grams. This, I weighed it, it was 98 grams. And I essentially split it as close to even as possible without starting a new repeat. So what ended up happening was, this is, I think, 36 grams, and this is whatever is left over from the 36. So I'm hoping that this is enough for a pair of socks, but I might have to steal some off of this. Unfortunately, the way it was skeined up, it didn't split evenly. So, but I do want to do 2 at a time socks because I want to knit them concurrently while we're going through Advent. So those are the 2 knitting sock ones. I also have 3 spinning ones and 3 knitting ones. I will preface this by saying I do have a pattern picked for 2 of the knitting ones, and the spinning ones I will be spinning each day, one by one. So I'm actually going to start with the spinning ones, and I'm going to start with a dyer that I did last year. I loved doing hers last year. This is Siobhan Crafts, and I'm starting with day 1. I can't remember if she counts up or down, and it doesn't say in the notes, so I'm hoping this is not a spoiler for anybody for the end of the month, but this is my day 1, and her theme this year is botanicals, which is why it's wrapped in flower paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that. And also, I'm sorry if I seem a little low energy tonight. It's late. We went to Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert today, and it took quite a lot out of me, so I'm a little tired. So I have a feeling that this was probably supposed to be for Christmas, but that's okay. I'll spin it backwards. So first off, there's this gorgeous little goodie, and I'm not gonna open it. But they're little cactuses. It's a little notions pouch. On the back it says, "Stay away from me." Super cute. So there's a little goodie. And here is day 1. Now, I considered spinning the Advents as minis and plying them up as minis. Because I did have a skein last year that wasn't very cohesive, and so when I applied it, I ended up applying it with a neutral color so that it looked a little better. But all of the dyers mentioned this year in their notes that, well, for Siobhan Crafts, I know I've spun hers up before. It looks good in one big monster skein, so that's what I'm doing for hers. The other 2 also mentioned in their notes that it does look good either as minis or monster skeins. So I think I'm just going to do 3 monster skeins this year. And basically what I refer to as monster skeins, these are little 10 to 20, I think they're 10 grams. So 1 ounce. These are all, I think 1 ounce is a fiber. So when you take 1 ounce of fiber and you multiply it by 24 or 25, that's quite a big skein for spinning. So I'm excited to see how this spins up, and I would expect no less from a botanical theme than green. And I'm not a green person, but I think this is beautiful. So my next one is from Knit Spin Farm, and they did a wonderful, wonderful job of planning out their Advent calendar and including little goodies and little notes, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So it's called Knit Spin Farm Batvent, and their theme is Winter Woodlands, and they include a little slip of paper with each of their bits of fiber. So I'm going to read it to you. So it says, Chapter 1, Melvin. Melvin is a spirit of the woods. He lives in the woods. He works in the woods. He plays in the woods. This time of year, he has had a lot of tasks helping the woods prepare for winter. Today he was going to visit his friends, make sure that they had enough food to last through the long cold season. He was pretty sure that the squirrels were well stocked up on nuts, and his friend the bear was about to settle into a deep slumber. For his first stop this morning, He thought he would leave a surprise present for his winged friends. And this is Melvin. It's beautiful. It's got like little speckles of red in there, and it's another green tonal, but it's a much different green than the Siobhan Crafts. This is a very bright poppy green, which Siobhan is known for, and this is a very woodland, foresty green, which I love. So those are the first two. And my last spinning one, also, I'm so bad, I can't remember. Okay, so I combined my Advents, not thinking that different ones have different little goodies inside. So I have some random goodies that are just hanging out here. This either came from Gail's Art or it came from Batvent from Knit Spin Farm, and I don't know which, but it's a cute little snowman candy cane pin, and here's a little candy cane that was in one of them. So this is my last spinning Advent, and this one is new to me. I have never heard of this. I was Googling spinning Advents one day and I came across Wool Fiend. Either that or I think I put a post up on Instagram asking for recommendations for spinning Advents. And I came across, it's called Wool Fiend 2019 Advent Calendar, and they're all baby bats. So I'm really excited. Oh my God, it's so soft. I haven't seen the color yet, but it's incredibly soft. Oh guys, it's beautiful. It's got this beautiful teal and pink, and there's some flecks of gold in there. Oh, it's really pretty, and it's incredibly soft. So she did say in her little letter what each one is made out of, and this one is made out of Polworth, Sari silk, silk noil, goatland, and mulberry silk. So there's a lot of silk in here, which is why it's so soft and smooth. So it's gorgeous and I love it. So I am excited. First day of spinning. I will probably wait until tomorrow to pull out my spinning wheel because it is quite late tonight. So that'll probably be how I start my day tomorrow. So I'm moving on to knitting Advents, and I'm going to show, this one right here is actually the Honeybee Knits Advent that I dyed, so I'm going to save that one for last. So the first one I'm going to show is Gail's Art, and this is the one knitting Advent that I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with it yet, and that's because they are sock blanks. So depending on how she dyed the sock blanks will depend on what project these get put in. So I have not quite picked out the project for these yet, but she did send a lovely card and included this beautiful little Christmas ornament. It's a little wooden Christmas ornament, and it says joy, love, peace, happy, and Christmas. Or, well, happy Christmas. Joy, love, peace, happy Christmas. So I'm going to put this on my tree. But she had a couple of options with her Advent calendars. And one of those options was you could buy just yarn, you could purchase yarn and goodies, and you could purchase yarn and goodies and project bag. And I did the yarn and goodies. I did not get the project bag. So here is December 1st. So she included a roll of butter rum lifesavers, which I love lifesavers. When I was a kid, we used to get the storybook lifesavers in our stockings every year. That was my favorite candy that we would get. So are you guys ready for this? I'm so excited to get a sock blank Advent calendar. I'm so excited to start it because she does such a wonderful job. And look how beautiful. These are just like little art pieces. I don't know how I'm gonna ever convince myself to knit them up, and I'm not sure what they want to be yet, but I absolutely love them. I think they're beautiful. I thought they're 20 grams, and I thought about doing shorty socks, but I don't think, I know 20 grams is not enough for a pair of shorty socks. So I think what I might do is do, I'm considering each one being one sock with maybe contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. And then just having a set of mismatched shorty socks. But that also seems kind of like a waste, right? So for something so beautiful. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with it yet, but here's day one, and I love it. And I'm really excited about it. So let me put that aside. And then the other knitting one that I got is from Jimmy Bean's Wool. And I brought the whole thing over to show you because I feel like Jimmy Bean's was the first advent calendar I ever purchased, and they were also the first advent calendar to kind of think outside of the box when it comes to packaging. And they used to send these cardboard boxes, these little boxes that pull in and out. If you saw last year, you know, and it was innovative at the time, but now a lot of people are doing that. And they went back to the drawing board and came up with a new idea this year that is just so out of the box and so perfect and beautiful and lovely, and I love it just based on the packaging alone. Here it is. So this is actually a metal magnet board that hangs. It's quite heavy. So I couldn't hang it on my mantle because my hangers were not strong enough, but these are just little metal tins with magnets. They just stick on. They're fabulous. This is such a fabulous idea, and it's definitely something that's reusable. It takes away the cardboard waste from packaging that we see. The paper bags that you see, it's just a waste-free way to do a beautiful advent calendar, and I can really appreciate the time and thought that went into making this. So off the bat, Jimmy Bean's Wool does provide you with a little starter kit for your project. This is a full-on knit-along kit. It includes everything that you need to make the pattern, including the needles. So they give you this little project bag to keep everything in from Namaste. I think it's from Namaste. Yeah, Namaste. And they provided you a pair of their smart sticks in the size needed to make the shawl. And they included a little notepad to keep notes in while you're making it. And then they included these cards. Let me see if I can get the first one off here. And what these will do is give you your clues for each day of Advent. And it is not a mystery, so when you purchase it, it shows you what shawl you're making. But it does it breaks it down so that way you only knit one part of the, the tape that they used to keep these cards together was a really bad idea because it is sticking really bad and you can't get it open without tearing it. But essentially you knit a part a day until the very end, and at the end you will have a finished shawl. So this is my day one card, and as you can see, I had to rip it a little bit to get it undone. But on the back, it just gives you pattern notes. It talks about how the shawl is made, what the finished measurements are, what needles and notions you need for it, and how many different yarns there are. It says there's 8 total yarns in this kit, so 8 different types of yarn. And then my second card is not day 2, it's actually the legend. And this is a nice little key that shows you what all of the stitches and chart keys, because this is a charted shawl if you prefer it to knit it charted. It has all of that right here on one card for you. So that's definitely going to be handy. So typically the way Jimmy Bean's Wool works with their knit-alongs is you don't start right away. So the first day is not the first day that you knit. Typically you have at least 1 or 2 days before you start knitting, depending on the project. So let's open day 1. So day 1, and this is pretty typical, includes the notions you're going to need for the project. So on day 1, they included a darning needle, some locking stitch markers, and a little packet of soak for when you're finished. And I got the fig scent. So I'm going to pop that right back in here to save for when I'm casting on or when I'm ready to soak it. And that is day 1, and I am done with that. There's no knitting required for day 1 of Jimmy Bean's Advent. So that leaves us with the Baby Nuts Advent. So this year the theme was sweets around the world, and I am lucky enough to have a market about a half hour from my house called Jungle Gems. It is a world market, so they have all different kinds of foods and sweets and candies from all over the world. So each day of Advent, you will receive a colorway inspired by a different country, as well as a sweet treat from that country, and a little card that tells you a little bit about that country. So the inspiration for today's colorway is Switzerland. The colorway name is Interlaken, and I will preface Vlogmas by saying I cannot properly pronounce all the words in this advent, so I sincerely apologize for any of those that I butcher. The sweet treat is Lindor truffle, and each day it'll tell you a new greeting in that language. So, and I should probably have looked this up before I started recording so that I said it properly, but today's is good morning, and it's buongiorno. So I don't know if you can see that. And here is the colorway that was inspired by Switzerland. I don't think that I have the photos anymore that I used that inspired these, but essentially what I did is I did a little Google search to find a some of these are inspired by a place, a phrase or saying within the culture, a popular reference, something of that nature. So that is why this was called Interlaken, and I will see if I can find the photo for this reference and include that in the advents for you guys. So there it is. So I am knitting a sweater with my advent calendar this year. I'm going to be knitting the So Faded pattern by Andrea Mowry. I'm not going to be fading the colors. It's going to be very much a scrappy blocked sweater. So I will be casting that on hopefully tonight. I'm going to work on my socks first, and then I will start working on this. And I hope to knit 20 grams a day and keep up with it, and hopefully by the end of Advent I will have almost a completed sweater. So that is the goal, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am to go on this adventure. Hopefully I can keep up with it. I have a lot of stuff to keep up with here though, so no guarantees, but I will do my best to keep up with Vlogmas. I will do my best to make sure that you guys are included in this. If this is not your thing and you don't like seeing this stuff, feel free not to watch the video. I completely understand. But if you do like this video and you're excited to see what day 2 has, make sure, and I'm not even done with day 1 yet. This is just opening them. I of course will vlog all day tomorrow and the next day. And if you do like Vlogmas videos, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube so that you can be alerted when the new videos are posted. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful first day of Advent, or by the time you see this, have had a wonderful first day of Advent. And I look forward to checking with you guys in the morning, which will be the actual day of Advent. And don't worry, I didn't open up all my Advent goodies. I still have 2 edible Advents, 1 chocolate and 1 cheese Advent that I'm really excited to start tomorrow morning. So I will make sure to include that in this video. But anyway, I will see you soon. Bye. Good morning, everybody. It is not morning time anymore for me. It's actually after 12. I did not go to bed last night until after 4 a.m., which is why I look like a hot mess. And yeah. Oh my god. So I was up all night working on Advent stuff. I casted on my Kirby Warby and Cozy Knitter socks, and oh my god, my hair is crazy. And I casted on my sweater, and I knitted the first 20 grams, and I'm so excited about it. It looks so great. And I kind of want to cheat and do day 2 today, but instead I am actually going to be doing scrappy knitting today. So I was trying to think, I have my spinning to do for day one, and then scrappy knitting. So I'm just so excited. So I will be knitting 3 dishcloths today, and hopefully getting some work on my scrappy blanket done. We'll see what happens. But first, I gotta get my Sunday cleaning done, and on Sundays I clean the bathrooms and I strip the bed and wash all the bedding, catch up on any laundry that I got behind on. I gotta do dishes, so all that fun stuff. And then Jason and I are gonna be going to get some lunch. He wants Skyline chili. I'm not like a huge fan of Skyline chili, but I might agree to it just so that he's in a good mood today and will leave me alone so I can get some knitting done. Here's my wreath. And Jason also picked out some socks for me today. Let me show you. I told Jason I was wearing green, blue, and gray, and these are the socks he picked for me to wear. He is absolutely ridiculous, and I think he was just looking for the silliest socks he could find. These ones are one of the first pairs that I knit for myself, and they were before I realized what negative ease was, and I was knitting 72 inches around the cuff, which means these are a little big, so they do slide around a bit, but they're nice and cozy for the house, and they'll keep my feet warm all day. So that is the goal. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna go get started cleaning and check in later. Ignore the messy table, but here is my day one of the Honeybee Knits Advent calendar. And I was able to finish my first 20 grams last night, which I'm really excited about. So I have decided to do a magic knot scrappy sweater. So I stopped wherever I ran out of yarn. I have a tail here somewhere. You just can't see it, I promise. Where is the tail of yarn? Am I going crazy? Here it is. Right here. Okay. Here's my tail of yarn to do my magic knot with, day 2 color. And so yeah, I'm excited about this. I am almost done with yoke section 1 of the Sophated pattern, which means I am about to start joining in the round soon. So I am almost done with the shoulder shaping, and this is probably the most Christmassy colorway within the Advent calendar. I think everything else is pretty much more country based than Christmas based, and I think there might be one other Christmas colorway in there hiding, but yeah, this is the only red and green that I've done. But I love it, and I'm super glad that it's at the beginning of the sweater because I think it looks really nice, and I'm even more excited about the sweater because I was a little nervous, but I love it so much that I'm actually considering doing a sweater with my Gales Art Advent, a scrappy sweater. I thought about it, and I would I thought about putting these into shorty socks, but I feel like this needs to be something more special. I'm going to wait until I open up day 2 to decide, because we'll see how it flows. But I think this might be a scrappy sweater. So I might have 2 sweaters for Advent. Now, that being said, they both won't be done this month. But whenever I have extra knitting time, or I might wait till January to cast this one on. But I think I'm going to do the same pattern because this is my favorite pattern, and I could knit it. Izzy's drinking water again. I could knit it over and over again. My favorite, vanilla sweater pattern. It's so easy, and it looks so good on so many different body types. So I highly recommend the Sophated pattern. But yeah, I might be making a second sweater. I don't know. We'll see. Also, I have casted on my Advent socks. So I ran out of sock needles. 2.5 millimeters is what I used, and between what I'm knitting Jason right now and my Indie Diary Advent Calendar, and these two sock project bags. I'm actually low on 2.5 millimeter, so much so that I can't even cast on my Desert Vista Dye Work socks until I order more needles. That's probably not true. I probably have them somewhere and just need to find them. But so this is my Kirby Orby Day 1, and I have those on Addy 2.5 millimeters. And this is my Cozy Knitter Day 1. And I wasn't sure which way to pull from, so I just kind of picked a side and started pulling, and I decided to start with the green because they're Christmas socks. So yeah, I love them. I'm really happy with everything and how everything's turning out. So the house is clean, bathrooms have been cleaned, laundry's going, we went and got some lunch, and now I'm settling in to do some spinning. But before I do, I wanted to share with you what the inspiration for this year's Advent calendars came from. So last year, as I was putting away my tree, I was putting these ornaments away. And my friend's mom a couple years ago had gifted me this 2002 collection box of ornaments, and they are Santas around the world. So this is where I got the idea for sweets around the world. So each country has a different Santa Claus, and this one is Switzerland. So I figured as I open up the countries for Advent, I will show you what Santa Claus inspired that day. I will say that not every country in there has a Santa, and I do have Santas that represent countries that are not in the Advents. So what I'll do is on the days where I don't have a Santa for that country, I will show you one of the ones that I don't have an Advent for. So this is today's Santa, and as I take them out and show them to you, I will put them on my tree. But I'm really excited to share with you all the different Santas that I have. But yeah, so there you go.